Hey Chris, I want to ask you before we jump off. I want to ask you about your kids and your family. So, first of all, how old are your kids?
My daughter just turned 13, so I have a 10-year-old and a 13-year-old. Yeah.
Oh, you got a teenager. So, like, what kind of lessons are you teaching your kids? And do they kind of go, "Oh, Dad," right? Like, what? Like, because I can
Yeah.
tell, like, no, never do that, Dad.
Yeah.
What are you trying to instill in them? Because I know, yeah. Just what are you trying to instill in them to make them,
So
citizens of society?
here's my belief, and listen, it's not a positive one. I mean, it's not a popular one. Um, I've gotten into business. The only reason why I've gotten into business with people is because I think they're great human beings. Like I don't track down top producers. I don't track down units. I don't track down, like, literally. I believe that if I get in the path of amazing human beings, we're going to do amazing things together. It doesn't matter where you came from. It doesn't matter up to now. Like, if you're a great human, right? Like Naval, I'm gonna quote him one more time. He says, "Great people have great outcomes." Like, he says it better than I. But for years, I've always been set. Like, we've had this conversation, guys. Like, we look for the person. We'll get in business with good people. Well, that
Len McKissick says, life gives to the givers and takes from the takers.
yeah. Like, so that belief shows up in how I raise my kids. Like, even how we school them, right? So there are certain schools in our city where, like, gosh, we get them on this track, right? The GPA, and they're going to go to this college, and honestly, we put our kids in Montessori early. And that's because that's experiential learning, right? Like, we are very congruent. Like, when I say where our business is this way, our life is this way, what I believe is my obligation as a parent is to steward these two little girls into being great human beings, right? Whether they're powerful, whether they're not, whether they're like, I want well-adjusted, great women that want to make impact on the world. And so it is why that, did was it the smartest financial decision to live in Costa Rica for part of the year? No, but you know what? They learned giving. They learned how. I mean, it's interesting. It hit me one night. I'll tell one story. Our home in Costa Rica is on the coast, right? So the view is beautiful. I love view, and space matters to me. But the village, like, very close to us, are these little villages that we would go in, and that's where we do sort of our work and volunteering. And we would meet just these amazing families. They had nothing, guys, right? It's like fourth generation on the same lot of land, right? They build their houses. It's all dirt floor. Like, you're nervous sitting there for dinner because, right, between bugs and snakes and everything else. And one night at dinner, one of their friends said, "Hey, can Lana stay overnight?" And I'm very careful about that. And I thought, oh my gosh, like, honestly, my initial reaction was, I don't think she'll make it. Like, I don't, I'm
But you're
like,
not worried that anything's going to happen to her. You're like, she just won't have a phone.
I mean, they don't have beds. They don't, like, there's no doors, there's no windows. I was like, I don't think she can handle it. And literally, Lana said, "Oh, can I, Papa? Can I?" Yeah. And I thought to myself, we let her, and we were driving away, and I'm like, how? Like, is this going to work? And the next morning we drove back, and we know this family really, really well, right? Because over the years we've helped them, and we've become close friends. And we picked her up, and she was the happiest little girl the next day, just as happy as she was the night before. And what I realized at that moment is my kids saw nothing. They saw nothing but the human, right? Their friend there is the same friend that lives in, the $3 million house in Portland. Like, they didn't see that, and they were great human beings building relationships with great human beings. Like, so that's my perspective on raising kids. It doesn't matter what school they go to. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't care if they get grades or not, other than, are you learning? Do you care? Like, are you readers? Like, we have reading time every single day together. Like, I read with this daughter, and then I read with that daughter. It's great because I've sort of molded them into doing something that I love. So it works out well. But that's my philosophy on kids.